cheese and biscuits all around. Let's get into this video. I've got my little list. We're going to get right into this Drugstore concealer review, so I'm going to just get right on into it, as I keep on saying. So the first one that I am going to start off with is the Lucky Rimmel Wake Me Up Anti-Fatigue, I can't say that word, concealer, and this is in 010 Ivory, and this is just a lip gloss kind of concealer. And let's just go on about the coverage. This says that it is a full coverage concealer for blemishes and dark circles. So for blemishes, when you look at this, would you really think that this is going to cover your blemishes? I personally wouldn't. When I look at this, I just think for the dark circles and highlighting. I wouldn't think that this would cover anything, and it doesn't cover anything, dull face, so no. For creasing, like, does it crease underneath the eye, and what's it like underneath the eye? It does give a nice coverage under the eye, but it doesn't give full coverage. I'd say it gives like a light to medium coverage, but it is nice. It does kind of wake up the eye area. So does it crease under the eye? Oh yes, it does. It can get a tad bit drying. It's not that drying, but it can just get a little bit drying. It is nice for highlighting, you know, down the bridge of the nose, the forehead, and the fucking chin, or wherever else you do it. It is a nice concealer, but I mean, if you're looking for something mainly for the dark circles and you're wondering, does this crease? Like I just said, it fucking creases. So, rah. Is it like, is this like a creamy or thin kind of concealer? What am I going on about again? Sorry about that. I don't really know what I'm going on about. I did say I'm really bad at making videos because I don't know what I'm going on about. But I do know what I'm going on about, but I don't. But anyway, so is this a thick or thin kind of concealer? I would say this is kind of in the middle. It's not thin, but it's not thick. So it's in the middle there. So it's quite creamy, but it's nothing like cakey or anything like that. But yeah. The next little concealer I have is the MUA Cover and Conceal concealer. I always have a problem saying Cover and Conceal concealer. I don't know why. And this is just in shade Fair. So the coverage with this, when you put this on, it doesn't really do anything. Like, you put this on a blemish and they're like, did I put anything on? Like, I put it on the other day, I was like, did I put anything on? And it's not just me that's had this as well. I've asked other people about it, and they've said that when they've used this, it just doesn't do anything. Like, it does fuck all, basically. You pop it on, it just doesn't really cover any blemishes. So if you're wondering for the eye area, it doesn't really do much. I mean, if you've got like, if you have like non-existent dark circles and you just want to kind of brighten up the eye area, I'd say maybe get it, because it's like $150 or some shit like that. But I mean, if you're wanting to really cover up the eye area, like concealer, you know, this isn't going to really work. It doesn't really do anything for the blemishes or redness. The eye area is very light, so yeah, it's a very lightweight concealer. If you haven't really got much to cover and you just want a tiny little drop of coverage, I mean a tiny drop of coverage, invest on it. It's just quite a thin, just in the middle kind of concealer. It's not too thick, it's not too thin, it's not drying at all. Does it crease underneath the eye? Yes, it does indeed. Ooh, the 17 Phwoarr Paint Heavy Duty Under Eye Concealer, and this is in Fair, and this is kind of the one with the mirror like this, that, oh, it just kind of go, oh. So this is just specifically for the under eye kind of area. I have used this on blemishes, if you're wondering. I know that's a bit weird, but I really wanted to test it out. It doesn't do anything for blemishes or redness, by the way. So for the actual dark circle area, which is it is designed for, so it's meant to cover really bad dark circles. It's very thick, as you can probably tell. It's a very thick concealer. It's just too thick, where you don't want to use it because it's so thick. It's very drying, like extremely drying. Oh my goodness, and the coverage kind of for the under eye, it's so like, it's so thick and drying that it doesn't cover anything, because it's so drying under the eye area, and it creases like motherfucking Crease City. You will actually, I guarantee you, you will look better without this. Even if you've got the most under eye fucking circles in the whole world, you've got the worst ones in the world, you will look better. If you put this on, you'll look like a piece of dog shit on the floor, and I just sort of smear it under your eye area and it looks shit. The Maybelline Superstay 24-hour concealer in 2 light. I don't know if the camera's picking up that this is a very pink toned concealer. If you have a very pink toned complexion, this is going to be a little friend, but if you haven't, no. And I do like this concealer, as I did add it in one of my best Drugstore products. I am going to be picking the concealers apart a little, just so you can really, you know, see a review about it. I do like this concealer because it's a very thick concealer. It's not too thick, it's in the middle, but it's kind of coming up to 75% kind of ish. You get what I mean? Like it's kind of coming onto that mark. It's just a very thick concealer, but it's not cakey. Do you get what I mean? Like it's very blendable. You can blend it out. It feels nice. But because it's so pink and it does oxidize a little, there is problems there that I do have with that. I do get a little bit pink, but I mean, for the coverage, it is a full coverage concealer for blemishes. Oh my goodness, this is amazing for the blemishes. So for kind of the eye area, I wouldn't use this under my eye area. Personally, when you look at this, you just think for the blemishes. Personally, I would think that. For the eye area, no, I don't like it for the eye area because it just creases. I have the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer, and if you're not familiar with this concealer, the actual writing all comes off the packaging. It's really irritating. I don't know why they would make a concealer that fucking the writing comes off. Like, how pathetic. Anyway, whatever. It's so cheap that who really gives a dog shit. And this is in Phwoarr. And this is like a so raved about concealer. If you've never heard about this, it's so raved about, it's like crazy. This is a really good concealer. I do love this concealer, I seriously do, and I use this every time I do my makeup, especially on my blemishes. Oh my god, this is like a full coverage on the blemishes. It covers up redness, it covers up blemishes. Obviously you've got to use it right to cover up spots, but it is just amazing. So for the kind of dark circle area, I don't really use this for my under eyes. I know lots of people do use it for their dark circles. Personally for me, because I have a very dry eye area, it's just too dry for me that I can't possibly use it, and it's a little bit too thick personally for my preference for the for the eye area. That's right, for the eye area it's just a little bit too dry for me, so I tend to just use this on blemishes. It's just amazing. It's just so thick, but it's not too thick. It's blendable, it just feels nice, and it's so light as well, like seriously. The Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, and I have this in 10. I think this is classic Ivory. The thing has just kind of come off, but it is quite a dark shade, but it's not too dark for me. You get what I mean? So it's okay there. This is raved about concealer as well. It's the lip gloss kind of one as well. So the coverage for blemishes and redness, I don't know, like loads of people go on about this saying, oh my god, it covers up blemishes, it's so beautiful and stuff like that. Personally for me, for blemishes, I didn't really notice a big difference when I put this on. I was like, wow, that looks like it's so covered so much. You get what I mean? No, I didn't really notice anything. So for redness, same, I didn't notice any difference. I just kind of looked the same. Normal little round-headed little girl, so it still looks the same. So for kind of the eye area, I know lots of people use this as well for their eye area. It is nice for the eye area. I do need to get a lighter shade though, because it can get a little bit dark for my eye area. It's not drying at all for the eye area. It feels nice. It does crease a tad though, a tad. So the tiniest bit it creases, so that's not as bad as the other ones. Like they crease like motherfucking city. So this is fine. I'd say just don't apply too much of it, because then it's going to really crease. But apart from that, it's nice. Maybelline Instant Anti-Age, the eye eraser kind of thing. I remember they actually had a foundation of this and they had to get rid of it because it's just so unfucking hygienic. Why would they make a concealer with a sponge? And they did it with the foundation. It was just like this, but it was a bigger version. Why the fuck would they make that? They think they're different just by putting a fucking sponge on the end. What the fuck does that mean? A sponge needs to be cleaned. I just want to take this off and I want to wash it. It just makes me feel sick. Like, doing this. I know it's just specifically for the under eye area, so you wouldn't put this on blemishes, and don't put it on blemishes, even though I haven't, but I'm just warning you because that's so unhygienic. It's just specifically for the actual eye area. Sorry, I dropped the lid. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, and this is in light by the way. So basically you will twist it like this, and then you'll simply just dot under your eye area and blend it in. It's nice. So what kind of about it? I know what I'm going on about, but I don't at the same time. Like I just waffle on about shit, but I know what I'm going on about, but then I don't. Like I end up getting in these riddles. Told you I'm a bit fucked up. But anyway, let's get on with this fucking concealer, otherwise we'll be here for 20 fucking minutes. But anyway, this is £8.99. How dare they charge £8.99? They think just because they stuck a sponge on the end that they can charge £8.99. Just this, but it is a good little concealer. I do like using it. So is it dry or not for the eye area? Obviously specifically for the eye area. No, it's not actually dry at all. That's why I really like it, because it's not drying for my eye area, and I always find that that's a problem with fucking concealers. Does it crease or not? It does crease just a tiny bit, which is gonna crease because it's a concealer. They all crease. You probably never find a concealer that never creases. So it does crease just a tiny bit, I just really like it. There's nothing really more I can say. I mean, the coverage is about a light to medium. It's not really thick. It's quite a thin kind of concealer. It's really weird. But yeah, it just blends nice under the eye. It does the job. It makes me look awake. I do like it. I would highly recommend that you definitely invest on trying this out. And for $8.99, you better fucking try it out, girl. NYC Cover and Conceal Stick. I know when you're looking at this, you think, piece of dog shit, you'd splash it on the floor. You'd maybe smear it against the wall, well, the floor really. And you're just thinking dog shit. So this is the lipstick kind of one. I don't really like lipstick kind of ones. Yeah, I know, I'm picking this apart already. So basically, this is $1.99. So the coverage, I'd say it gives quite a nice coverage. Obviously, if you apply this right to the blemishes, it can give a medium coverage. It does cover the redness really nice. It's very creamy. It's not drying. It just really does the job. It's something that you wouldn't really think that like works, but it does. Like you would think that this is just a piece of dog shit. You do think that. Don't deny it. You're thinking piece of dog muck when you look at this, and don't look at me like that, because you are secretly. But yeah, does it crease under the eye? Personally, I wouldn't put this under my eye, because imagine like just doing this. Like, it's just no. I can imagine somebody in the world does this and then it just breaks off. But whatever. There's obviously somebody in the world that does apply their concealer like that and it just breaks off every time, and they're thinking, why? That has to be somebody in the world. But what the fuck am I going on about? So this does crease under the eye. It's gonna crease, like look at it, you expect it to. It's not drying, like I said, it's creamy, it's a nice little concealer. Definitely try it out for $1.99. You should definitely try it out. It's better than the MUA one, so give it a whirl.